Hello, welcome to Kiera and Mal Gaming, where we are documenting our journey of my fiance trying to turn me into a gamer. I'm Kiera.
And I am Malganis. So, where do you want to start?
I don't know.
Well, so where did we leave off in our last VOD quest video chain we're doing?
So, I am on an island. I think I'm trying to do some scouting for something, maybe.
I think you left off outside of Borealis, but I remember you had mentioned you kind of felt like you were being distracted from the main quest line.
Yes.
Even though I think you're actually doing the specific campaign quest.
So, I am doing the specific campaign quest, but it's like all these like the quests that make it up. It's like go here and then go there and then go back to there, and it's like, what's the purpose of all of this? So it just seems distracting, and honestly like having a hard time trying to like stay on track with like what I'm actually trying to achieve in the long run.
I wish I'd actually completed this campaign, but unfortunately I did not. So I don't actually know what the end game and end state is for Battle for Azeroth, because I think I played the first 5 minutes of it when it came out, and then I quit World of Warcraft for about 4 years. Maybe not that long, 2-3 years, but yeah, I was not impressed with what Blizzard was producing during the Battle for Azeroth and what was it? Shadowlands. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
like there are some things like going to like the place where they like open the portals. Like, that seemed like that's something that could be useful in the future. That made sense. But then just like going back just to like one of the places to one of the people that I've been to like 2 or 3 times now. And then like one of the things being like, yeah, shoot this person's gun. Like, why?
I think that was providing context based off what's her name's products, because basically I think you're committing corporate espionage right now on her corrupt company. I think that's the next set of quests you have to work on. You're investigating them.
But again, like the whole thing of like having this like shooting the gun, and I'm just like why?
I don't have an answer for that. That's a great question, but
Yeah,
I don't
like
have
it
the
just
answer.
like it's things like that like just having to do these little things, and I'm just like, it makes no sense to me on why they're even there other than just to, it just seems like a waste of time, honestly. So if anyone can answer these questions for me, please do, because maybe they come into play later on. Right now, like I said, some things make sense, like the portal place. That makes sense. But just going back and forth between these different places, it seems like it could be more efficient.
Like going from quest hub to quest hub? Or are you talking about like you get a quest and then you have to go somewhere to talk to somebody and then they give you a message to take back to the person who sent you there?
Yeah, kind of like that stuff is.
I feel like you're trying to optimize the fun out of the game, which means you most certainly are a World of Warcraft player.
Okay, well,
There's nothing more enjoyable to a World of Warcraft player than optimizing the fun out of the game.
yeah, no, like, and I wish I could remember, but like when I was like downstairs, it felt like I was like in a basement, and then I had to go to the portal place, and then I had to go back to the basement area, and it just like made zero sense on why I
Well,
had to go back there. And it's like there's things that all could have been done there at one time.
and a lot of that is personal optimization of accepting quests. So, and then there's a lot of narrative reasons that that's happening. So, you were given a task. Hey, go speak to the whatever grand wizards or the portal wizards. Go speak to them to see the portal room, then report back to me. Because I have another quest for you after that. Does that make sense?
Kind of. It just.
And there are a lot of quests in the game, and don't get me wrong, there are some of them I absolutely despise. Most certainly in games like Tarkov. It's like, hey man, I have this really easy quest for you, but you have to do these 10 other really, really hard quests to get to this one easy quest, but you need to do it because there's an item locked behind it. Like, what's a good one? It's for the shooter series. It's like pay one of the traders $4,000. It's like, God dang, man. You know, like it's an easy quest. You just have to sell a bunch of stuff, but it's also locked behind a bunch of other quests that are like significantly more difficult to do other than just hand over 4,000 USD.
Like I said, like I just felt like with what I did yesterday, I feel like I could have gone like open the portals. I think there was like something else
Was it the physics of the pistol?
that still drives me insane. That oh my gosh, it's just so dramatic. And like it's not even like a pistol is never going to react, like you're never going to react like that unless you're like a 5-year-old, which shouldn't even be
50 AE is a hell of a round.
but it's just like it makes sense if there's a reaction to it. Your arm goes up, like whatever. But like to literally like my character was knocked on her butt by a pistol. Like, and then like odds are if you have that kind of reaction, odds are you didn't even hit your target because your arm moved before the bullet even left the chamber. So it's just like it was so bad.
So that was actually disproven. I can't remember if it was Mythbusters or it might have been YouTuber. They were trying. Have you ever seen the movie Wanted?
No, I have not.
So the whole like premise of the movie Wanted is that you can curve bullets around objects.
Oh, this one. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
yeah.
I know
So
exactly.
they tried and tried and tried, and the human body can't move the weapon fast enough to alter the trajectory of the bullet. So they just got pissed off and put a curved pipe on the end of it, and they were like, "All right, there it goes. It shoots around corners."
So here's the thing of it is once it leaves the barrel, wherever the barrel is pointed when the bullet leaves, that's where it's going to go. The bullet cannot curve once it leaves.
Right.
But like, let's say if my finger's it and you have it pointed here, and when you release it and your arm goes up a little bit, trying to keep my finger in it.
It's anticipation of the shot.
Yeah.
I see that a lot in shooters on the range is they'll, and it's a habit that I had to break too when I was a lot younger and learning how to shoot is, what you'll do is typically what you'll see is they'll push in, they'll nose the rifle down or they'll nose the pistol down because they're pushing into the recoil before they've even broke the trigger.
Mm-hmm. No, I want to watch that Mythbusters episode. I remember that one. It was
it was Mythbusters. It wasn't a YouTube channel.
No, but that's the one. It had to do with like I remember it was the one where they were like the bullet of the chamber, and then it like curved around the person because like they slung the gun.
I can't. I need to watch it now because I can't remember if they got like a slight curve, like nothing over exaggerated like the movie obviously, but like they had to use a machine like a hydraulic or a spring loaded system to get the pistol moving fast enough for it to give it any curvature in the trajectory of the bullet. But like what's crazy too,
I don't even think it had any, because it should be like wherever, and it's like again you have your chamber, so like wherever, trying to keep it, sorry my camera's not at a great angle to me here, wherever like when the bullet is here, wherever the gun is pointed, the bullet is going to go straight, other than like gravity pulling it down.
Yeah, gravity, wind, anything like that could.
But yeah, it's not going to like curve around anything. But that's the thing of like I said, if your arm is here and you're at it, let me try to like, arm is here. If you go up with it just a little bit, if it's up by the time it leaves the chamber, it's going to have that upward momentum and you're going to miss your target, depending on how far away you are and how big the target is, obviously. But
we're having discussions about World of Warcraft ballistics, like we're discussing the ballistics engine built in Tarkov that makes me not a very happy camper.
Yeah, it just like everything just seems, and I get like wanting to exaggerate things, especially for it to like show up, and like the characters are kind of small, I get exaggerating it, but they like it goes to the extreme. And
Well, I wouldn't try to overthink it too much.
I try not
It
to.
is a cartoony game at the end of the day.
I just Please tell me some of the other games are better. Like at least Tarkov is it more accurate?
I want to say yes, but no. Because what drives me insane about Tarkov is your standard engagement range in Tarkov, in I think I've got almost 3,000 hours played, is on average, and this is obviously very map dependent, you know, is probably between 25 and 50 meters, which is the two closest targets on my rifle qualification, is the 25 and 50 meter target. For pistol, that's pretty good distance, but for rifle, that's, you're right on top of each other. But in Tarkov, like, one of my favorite weapon systems, the SV98. Yeah, the SV98. If you're shooting to 300 meters, the bullet drop is insane. It's not that exaggerated, especially for a high caliber rifle. It's not that to me, in the minuscule experience that I have comparative to some other shooters out there who shot thousands and thousands of hours there over their lifespan. But at 200 meters, you shouldn't be dropping 6 foot in elevation. Because I know guys that shoot well past 300 meters, with iron sights on their weapon system. So it's closer, but it's not at the same time. So, but they're working on it. I know they're working on it, the guys over at BSG, but it.
Well, and there's so much that goes into it, from the human reaction to even wind, gravity. There's so much that goes into play, which at least gravity relatively consistent, so not really an issue there unless you're playing a game where you're hopping from planet to planet. Actually, does Tarkov have like a shooting range where you could just like go and practice?
It does, so you can build an indoor shooting range in your stash, or your hideout, technically, not your stash, but your hideout. And it's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better than it was, because the first iteration wasn't very helpful. It was just more to like measure recoil, but now you can actually run like shooter drills once you get it maxed out.
Now I kind of want to like I don't want to I'm definitely not ready to play Tarkov, but I kind of like want to go in and just go to like a shooting range and just like see what it's like, to see how accurate some of the things are.
Well, and there's because you can go onto maps now and not have any enemies and not have any enemy players on there either. You can basically go into an empty map, and that's what me and Vash would do. We would basically establish, dopes for different areas. So like, if we would have our spots, and that I'm not going to share, that we would always, that was kind of like our post up points, because we were always, slow players, never sleeping, always creeping. And we like to engage at long distance. We would know that the distance from our shooting point to, a high traffic area, we would know, okay, that's 250 meters. So as soon as we would set up, we'd be like, all right, we'd set our range to 250 meters on our scopes immediately. So we were already zeroed on the target. We weren't sitting there guessing. And then when they introduced the rangefinder, that really helped us, kind of calculate those things and kind of get those things dialed in. But yeah, and they worked on recoil a lot too. That was a big issue. Recoil was super unrealistic, and then now it's I feel like it's the most realistic it's been, and still be fun. I haven't really played this wipe other than Tarkov Arena. And Arena has not been the most fun, but not because of the game, because of the people. Not having friends to play with, not having comms, has made it not feel like a very fun competitive shooter, which is upsetting. It's kind of the same problem that I have in World of Warcraft with LFR. There's no communication. It's just rock up, roll the boss over, carry on with your day. Or you can be in a group so bad you don't roll the boss over, which happens. But yeah, it's meh. Yeah, everything feels meh right now, but you make things better, which is nice. But how you feeling about the aesthetics? You finally found an armor you like?
Not really.
Not even the one you have on now? I thought you
Okay,
said you
well,
liked
yeah,
that one.
okay, sorry. I do like the armor now. At least now it all kind of matches. It was very like that like reddish purple dress with the blue armor just and I don't know, for me it's just distracting seeing stuff that doesn't match. So at least now the outfit matches with the armor and it all kind of flows together. And maybe that's a terrible way to be trying to play the game. But
No, there's a lot of people that play that way, especially since they introduced transmog back in, I think it was the end of Cataclysm. Um, people don't have to be like, this is the armor I like, but this is the armor I have to raid in because it's the statistically better armor. Burning Crusade. I remember hearing stories, and I remember seeing it during Wrath and then early Cataclysm before Transmog when I was playing. There were people that were walking around in their raid gear, but they didn't look very cool, you know. But the raid gear, this was your bis, and then this was your like, dripped out walking around your capital city, fit, so. But it it was interesting times before transmog, but transmog I think has brought a lot of creativity and replayability into the game. It gave you a reason to go to old raids. The only reason people ran Molten Core back in the day before transmog was Thunder Fury and Sulfurous, just so you could have it, but you couldn't use it. Nobody really knew you had it unless you put it on your back, but you couldn't use it in a fight, because it wasn't a bis weapon at that time. Same for Warglaives. It was the only reason people went back to BT. Or to farm mounts. There were specific mounts, like Ashes of Alar. Still one of my favorite mounts in the game. And then, people farming Invincible. I don't want to talk about that mount. But yeah, so we've kind of talked about it a little bit, kind of on our own. But so your ADHD and feeling distracted, is like everything in the game distracting to you, or?
so it's not that like the things in the game are distracting. It's like kind of like what I was talking about earlier with like the like mini quest within like this whole big quest with the campaign. It's like they're distracting from the overall thing. So like right now, like I don't know the big thing I'm trying to achieve. All I can kind of keep in my head is like this is the little thing I'm working on right now. I have no idea what it is because it's like it's just been like I feel like I'm not on target. And like I
Okay.
know I'm on target for the big thing, but I'm just not staying in with like what seems like a consistent thing with it.
Right. So you're following the right quest though. You're following the whatever the placard with the exclamation point on it, because if it doesn't have that placard, it's not a campaign quest, which I think was a nice addition to the game.
Yeah, I mean I'm just like I said, I'm following everything, but I don't know what the main like campaign quest is.
Right. You don't know what your main objective is, and right now your main objective is to investigate that chick's company, but you don't know what the end state of like the battle for Azeroth is.
Yeah. Well, and that's I mean like I said, I keep forgetting that like, I'm like the whole big thing is I'm supposed to be investigating this chick and it's like because I get so focused in on oh, go to this place and open this portal. Like in my mind, that's the only thing that's going on. No other bigger picture thing. It is just that.
And it's funny you mentioned that. There's a lot of people that do feel that way in certain expansions. It's like, go collect me 4 twigs. Well, the Lich King, is trying to destroy the world right now. Why does this matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I said, for me, it's like it's not even so much why does it matter. It's that like that's the only thing that's in my brain right now. Like when it's like the Lich King is trying to destroy the world, where you're trying to stop it. That no longer exists. It is let's just go get twigs.
Yeah, because you can only see what's in front of you at that
Yeah.
at that given moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing else exists other than like the immediate like mini quest that is right in front of me.
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
and sometimes it does make it hard. Like I know, like right now where we stopped at, I'm about to go on to like 3 things at once,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's like I feel like I can only do one of them at a time.
Uh,
And so I feel like this one's going to be interesting, especially not having your help. Because I
right.
know like I can tackle all 3 of them at once. Physically in the game, I can do it. But mentally,
It's overwhelming.
it's like I'm trying to tackle this one. I don't want to, my brain doesn't want to think about the other 2.
Yeah, yeah, no, I understand. I definitely understand. I definitely get, there's times that I experience it where I'll get to like a new quest hub, and I like to finish my quest in like a concise order. And the precedence is relatively, you know, not from hardest to easiest or easiest to hardest or anything like that. It's normally like distance from my current location, but there's times I get to a quest hub and then there's just 50 available quests, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm just completely overwhelmed. You know what I mean? But it's not, for me, it's not an ADHD thing. It's, I am overwhelmed with exhaustion of I've done this so many times. I have to do it again, and it's not engaging for me anymore. Does that make sense?
I can see that.
You know, it's like, oh, we're doing the same thing again. You know, it it's frustrating, and it makes me sad because I still like, I love World of Warcraft. I love Tarkov. I love, Valheim. I love all these different games, and they come out with new expansions and or new wipes or new updates. I'll see a video about it and I'm like, that looks awesome, and I log in and I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. Like I haven't played a single raid in Tarkov this wipe. Mostly because I don't have my duo partner anymore because he quit playing, but I am just so unmotivated to do all the quests again. All of, to find all the things, to earn all the money, to grind all the rep, to go to all the different maps, to find all the keys that you need, to go get the pocket watch, to go get the lighter. I'm just like,
So I guess then, like, why do people enjoy video games?
some people enjoy, it's like, have you ever heard that a lot of people, I can't remember the best way to describe it, they watch the same movie over and over again because they know how it ends and it gives them a sense of control.
I hate it.
Well, you're not like other people.
I hate watching movies again. Like there's only like a handful, and it's like it has to be like a year apart before I can rewatch something.
So, well, some people, they enjoy watching the same movie over and over again because it gives them a sense of control in their life. I think there's a lot of people, and I definitely was like this at one point. They want to do the day in and day out grind and do it over and over again. They want to do their weekly resets in World of Warcraft. They want to do their dailies in World of Warcraft. And it gives them this sense of comfort and control. Does that make sense?
I just like, yes, what you said makes sense. I just don't like, I can't comprehend why people would want to do that.
You don't understand the appeal of it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like I get like I don't understand the appeal of horror games like Phasmophobia, I think's the name of it. Like no. I'm good. I don't want to play a game like that. It's not engaging to me and it's not fun.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's like part of the reason I've never really been into video games is it's like one, like I don't feel like a sense of purpose from it. Like I know like you find it as a way to unwind after work. And like I just don't get that from it. Like I would much rather just like watch a movie or, cuddle with our dog or go for a walk. Like to me there's so many other things that I would find relaxing versus having to like come home from work, being on a computer all day and then sit down at another computer and looking at the screen and being like, okay, do this, do that. Okay, now do this, and just like follow and just keep. I feel like I'm still grinding away.
Yeah, I definitely understand that with the position of your job. Like in my old job, Like, I never really had a sense of accomplishment in my old job because it didn't matter what I do. It didn't matter the level of performance that I achieved. I was still just going to get crushed anyways. Um, so I think, achieving something in a video game made me feel better about that. And I think that's why I kind of gravitated toward them so heavily during that period. But, now my new job, I'm just kind of, I do feel accomplished. I do feel achieved. I don't get crushed. I do get, recognition and commendations for it. So it's kind of like I don't feel the need to like almost self-validate through video games, if that makes any sense. Um, would love to hear y'all's thoughts on that. If you guys want to leave a comment and
Yeah.
and tell us why you guys play video games, we'd love to read them.
And I'm definitely interested as a non-gamer. I am very intrigued into why people enjoy playing video games. So drop your reason down below. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're trying to reach 100 subscribers.
Yes, please help us reach 100 subscribers. We would really love it.
So yeah, so do you think I don't necessarily know if this is the right wording, but do you think you're enjoying video games less now because you have like a sense of purpose at your work?
I think I am less willing to put up with bullshit or things that I don't enjoy because there's a lot of things. Like, here's a really prime example. So I don't enjoy playing Tarkov solo. It's not fun to me. It's anxiety inducing. It makes me uncomfortable and I don't enjoy it. I like team sports. I like working on a team. I've done it my entire life. I've done it since I was 17 years old. I've always been on a team and I want to work with a team. I want to solve problems as a team. I'm not a lone wolf player. And now that I don't have a team in Tarkov, I'm not willing to put up with the bullshit and the anxiety. And like when my teammates or teammate would die in Tarkov, I'd be like, okay, I just want to get out of this raid. They can have my gear. I just want to get out and move on to the next raid because I want to play with my team. I don't want to play solo, if that makes sense.
Is that why you were forcing me to play video games?
That is not why I'm forcing you to play video games.
For the record, he is not forcing me. I did agree to this.
I have been trying to get you to play just so we could share. I wanted to share my hobby with you, just like I shared rock climbing with you. Well, I do feel like I kind of forced you to rock climb because I needed somebody to belay me because I got tired of just having the auto belay routes. But also I feel like that's healthy as well. But yeah, it's a difficult question to answer because there's so many multifaceted reasons. Like right now, what I experience in World of Warcraft on my main retail account is everything is meaningless and nothing matters. What is the grind worth? What is the point of getting geared up? Because they're just going to take it away in 3 to 6 to 12 months. Like I enjoy leveling. That makes me feel accomplished. Leveling up my main and then leveling up on my alts. Playing Season of Discovery makes me feel accomplished because they've really breathed new life into classic WoW. But if I'm not doing it with a team or with a guild like I am in Season of Discovery, I'm in a guild. I was in raid progression. We progressed through all of Black Fathom Depths, and we pretty much could one-shot every boss in there now. And that was fun for a time, but now I'm kind of like, all right, now when's the next season coming? I want my next 15 levels. I want to see what the new runes are going to be and what the new content they're producing. So, but if it's just get on the treadmill and run for no reason and give them money, I'm like, no, thank you. Like, that's why I was a fan of Tarkov's business model. Yes, I bought the EOD edition. This was several years ago. I bought the $150 EOD edition. I have not paid them a dollar since. And I have gotten way more than $150 worth of value out of that game. And that's something that I look to. Like Baldur's Gate, I think I paid $70 for it because I got the whatever legendary edition so I could get the cool dice set. Got every penny of worth out of that game plus some. But there's been other games that I bought that I haven't gotten really anywhere near the value out of. It happens, typically I try to refund those games.
So you said like right now you're not so much enjoying Tarkov as much. Are there other games that you're enjoying playing, even if it's just like, is there anything that you're enjoying playing by yourself more specifically, or is there a game that you're enjoying but you wish you had people to play with, or
I would 110% come back to Tarkov if my duo partner came back. But other games, I'm still mixed on World of Warcraft. I enjoy playing WoW, and I enjoy playing WoW with you and teaching you to play it, and I enjoy playing Season of Discovery. I don't know what I'm going to do at the end of Season of Discovery. I'm definitely going to dabble in Cata Classic, because that was really my heyday, was the end of Wrath, going into Classic and then into Mist of Pandaria. I know this is a controversial thing. I really hope they do a Classic Mist of Pandaria, because I would love to experience that again. I've been enjoying playing Valheim solo, but Valheim is very much a community game. It would be nice to have somebody to play Valheim with, and I've talked to several friends of mine. This has been a long time, but I was like, hey, I'll set up a Valheim server for us. Very similar to the Conan Exile server that I used to run, that I put a lot of hours into. That was a lot of fun, that I really enjoyed. Really, really fun game, and that I think they're taking it in a really good direction now, giving it the support and love that it needed. But it's just been kind of tough because I'm a creature of habit, and I just fall into these habits of just, all right, well, I'll just do this thing again because it gave me that little bit of dopamine. I'll go get some more dopamine, and I just kind of like mine the dopamine dry from everything. Does that make sense?
that does make
So it's frustrating, but you know, it is rewarding to overcome obstacles like that. So, but have you done any research on any other games that you might like, or seen any commercials or ads on YouTube?
You've seen my schedule lately. When have I had time to do research?
You've been doing research, just not that kind of research.
Yeah, different research.
But yeah, so kind of to derail here off of that deep conversation, how has the spell progression been feeling?
It's been feeling pretty good actually. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like now that like I had a chance to actually like place the spells where I can kind of group them with similar things.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a lot easier to manage.
One thing I have noticed reviewing your videos of play, it's kind of like you forget to click the next spell. There's like a delay, you don't stack them. Does that make sense?
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
So like typically when I'm casting as a DPSer, it's like I'll do my opening cast, and then before that cast even finishes casting, I'll be pressing my next spell. Like I'll press that button repeatedly till it initiates its cast, and then I'll move to the next spell. Does that make sense? So it's more rapid, it's more DPS, you know, more casting.
Yeah, no. I do not do that. I guess I should, but part of me is like, what's the point of like pressing the button if I'm still like my spell's still winding up, like it's not gonna do anything. So
Have you noticed your cast bar yet? The little golden bar that pops up that lets you know when you're how long until you finish casting that spell.
there's like the timer at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of following that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, mages are just so much, and it's a class that I haven't really played all that much. I did a little bit and I've tinkered with it, but I don't have like a super in-depth knowledge of the mage. So it's kind of been a learning experience for both of us, because like I'm actually like actively having to read up on like, okay, what do mages do? How do they function? What are their mechanics? So, but there's going to be some big updates. Actually, I think the first big update already dropped for the end of end of expansion patch, and then I don't know when the War Within pre-patch is going to come. I would imagine, I think it's going to be around fall. I I think is when the pre-patch for that's going to come, and that's when the new expansion comes out. Level cap will go up, and we'll start. I think we're going to get some new zones and things like that. They're going to start revamping zones as well, which really needs to happen. That's been a long-standing issue in World of Warcraft. Is the graphics are just not the best. The physics and poly, they're not the best.
Noticed. Um, but no, something, and I feel like obviously this will have to come in time, but where you kind of talk about the different characters, it's hard for me to like wrap my head around like the difference in them when like a mage is all I played.
Right.
So I do think it would be interesting, like once I kind of like actually like, get my character
Hmm.
somewhere to actually like get a new character and kind of like go through it with them from have it not be a mage, something else, and see how the game differs
Yeah.
for each type of character, if that makes sense.
Well, so one thing that is always the first words of an alcoholic, um, somebody who loves having alternate characters but never finishes them, which I was really bad for, but I have gotten more disciplined with age. Um, but I always say every class in World of Warcraft is just a warrior with more steps. Um, but they each have their own flavor. They have their different armors, their different specs, their different functions, their different capabilities. Um, but yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun for you to try out because you may end up finding one you'd be like, I don't know why I've been playing a mage. A druid is so much more fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's just like it's hard to tell. Like when I was like reading through, like the mage, I definitely felt like fit my personality more,
Hmm.
but also like it's hard to see like where that even comes into play with the character.
Right. And that's something that's been kind of talked about for many years now is that the fantasy has been removed from World of Warcraft because it's so tailor made to the top end raiders and the top end PvPers. It's all about the numbers, all about the numbers. It's not about how it feels and the flavor spells and things like that. Because there used to be a lot of them. There were a lot of different spells that would be unique to the class that didn't really serve a role in combat or any kind of like super high utilitarian function, but it was just a cool spell to have. You know what I mean? That kind of deepened the flavor and the lore of the class itself, which is something that I think's been robbed from a lot of World of Warcraft's integral pieces.
But like the only thing that again haven't like seen a whole lot of different types of characters. Really, the obvious difference
Hmm.
because it's like they have the ability,
Right.
but everything else is just like I feel like we're all just attacking. It's just we have different spells, but they all do damage. So it's kind of like what's really the big difference.
So everything kind of boils down to the Holy Trinity, and that being tanks, DPS, and healers, and DPS diversion to melee DPS and range DPS. Tanks do damage and they do heal. Certain tanks have those kind of like secondary functions within their classes depending on the tank class that you're playing. Like Blood Death Knights can heal a lot. So they can kind of, you know, they can take a lot of damage because they can heal a lot of their self damage. Um, but there used to be a thing in World of Warcraft, and I think it's probably still around. Um, but I haven't seen it in recent times. It was called class stacking. Um, and this was like really prevalent in World of Warcraft vanilla, or in classic now. When you went into Molten Core, well, everything was fire related and was weak to frost but resistant to fire. So warlocks didn't really have a role other than to make block candy and summon people to the raid. They weren't they could put curses on things, but they were primarily fire damage. Well, you're fighting a fire elemental with fire. You're not going to do a lot of damage. So there were just frost mages everywhere. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, you want to wrap this one up? Yep.
listening.
Yep. Thank you so much. We would love to have you guys stop back again. It'd be great. This was the Kira and Mal podcast. If you like it, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button on the bottom, and we'll see you next time.